It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon when my phone rang, and everything changed. I was sitting in my car, halfway through my grocery list, when I saw my husband's name flash across the screen. I smiled instinctively, not knowing that smile would be the last one he'd put on my face. I answered casually, "Hey babe, what's up?" His voice came through, cold and unfamiliar. "I'm divorcing you. And by the way, I've already sold the house." And then he laughed. I froze. Did I hear that right? The words echoed in my head. "I've already sold the house. What do you mean?" I stammered, trying to keep my voice calm. "You heard me," he said, as if he were telling me the weather. "Everything's dory. Paperwork. Buyers, all of it. You should start packing." I laughed awkwardly, hoping this was some twisted joke. "Jake, this isn't funny." But he wasn't laughing anymore. "I'm done, Melissa. It's over." Click. The line went dead. I sat in the car for what felt like hours. I couldn't move, couldn't think. Jake and I had been married for 6 years. Sure, things hadn't been perfect lately, but I thought it was just a rough patch. He never mentioned divorce, never even hinted. And now he was telling me that not only was he leaving, but he'd already sold the place we called home. When I got back to the house, I noticed a real estate sign gone from the lawn. I ran inside. Everything looked the same at first. But then I saw the missing photos from the walls, and a manila folder on the kitchen table. Inside, legal documents, a signed agreement, my signature, forged. I didn't know where to start. I called his phone, but he wasn't answering. The next day, I went to my friend Jenna's place, my Erica, in moments of chaos. "He sold the house without telling you. That's illegal, right?" she asked, eyes wide. "I don't know. I'm still trying to understand if this is real." But it got worse. That night, I got a message request on Facebook. A woman named Erica. "Hey Melissa, I know this is random, but I think I've been seeing your husband." I blinked. My throat dried up. I replied, "What are you talking about?" Her response was instant. "We've been dating for about 4 months. He told me he was getting divorced. But I didn't know it was behind your back. Jake was cheating. He had an entire double life I didn't know about. Dinners, trips, hotel stays, all while I thought he was working late and selling our house. He had forged my signature and used some shady private sale loopholes, pushing the papers fast through someone who, apparently, owed him a favor. I'd been blindsided, betrayed, and abandoned. But here's where it gets interesting. What Jake didn't know is that I had recordings. Jake had asked me a few months back to help him test a new home security system, audio-sensitive smart cams in every room. He never turned them off. And me, I never deleted the cloud storage. I started digging. What I found made my blood boil. Recordings of him on the phone, planning the sale. Talking to his new girlfriend, laughing about how he'd clean me out. Even bragging about forging my signature and how she's too naive to do anything about it. That night, I didn't sleep. I stayed up compiling everything, saving files, timestamping, organizing. This wasn't going to end with me crying in a corner. He made one mistake. He underestimated me. I called a lawyer the next morning. His name was Russell, and he didn't waste time. "I'm going to be honest," he said after reviewing the case. "This is serious, but we've got ammo. Forgery, fraud, hidden assets, and even emotional abuse." Jake had opened a Pandora's box of legal trouble. We filed immediately to block the house sale and freeze the bank accounts. But there was more. Russell found out Jake had drained half of our joint savings and transferred it to a new account under his name. He had planned everything, except my fight back. Weeks later, we ended up in court. Jake walked in smirking, holding hands with Erica. I wanted to be angry, but all I felt was pity. He really thought he'd won. But then my lawyer played the recordings. Jake's face fell. The judge listened carefully as we laid it all out. The fraud, the recordings, the forged documents, the mistress. Jake tried to interrupt. "Your Honor, that's private," but the judge cut him off. That's evidence, Mr. Davis. It took 1 week for the ruling. Jake was ordered to pay restitution. The house sale was reversed. Erica. She walked out of the courtroom, humiliated. Turns out, she didn't know he had a third woman in the mix. Yep, third. The court also froze his accounts, penalized him for fraud, and gave me full ownership of the house. And the best part, the judge granted me full spousal support at an amount that made Jake's jaw hit the floor. I renovated the house, got rid of every memory of him, repainted the walls, tore out the floors, replaced the furniture. It was symbolic. A new beginning. Friends came over. We had wine. We laughed. We cried. But mostly, we celebrated. Not because of revenge, but because I didn't let a man break me. I even wrote a blog post about it. The day my husband sold our house without me, Andy took everything back. It went viral. Women reached out. You gave me strength. I thought I was alone. That's when I realized maybe this story wasn't just about me. Healing didn't happen overnight. I had nights I cried. Mornings I didn't want to get out of bed. But each time I got up, I reminded myself, I was no longer a victim, I was a survivor. I started therapy, took long walks, read books, reconnected with hobbies I lost in the marriage. And eventually, I learned to smile again. For real this time. 6 months later, Jake called me. I stared at the screen. I almost didn't pick up. But curiosity won. Melissa, he said, I messed up. Can we talk? You mean like how you laughed when you ruined my life? I laughed. Click. He paused. I lost everything. You chose that path, I said. And now, I choose mine. I blocked his number. For good this time. I never thought I'd be the woman who got left, cheated on, betrayed. But life has a funny way of revealing who people really are. Jake lost everything, the money, the house, the women, because he built it on lies. Me, I gained something priceless. Freedom, strength, peace. And that's worth more than any house. If you're still reading this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more powerful real-life stories that remind us just how strong we truly are.